Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome to all of you in Network Professionals, the Cisco Networking Academy, and I am your instructor Ahmed Malik.
Welcome to Introduction to Network lecture number 10. In our previous lecture, we discussed about Cisco iOS access, role of an operating system, kernel, shell and hardware, and also we will discuss about purpose of an operating system, access methods like console, telnet and SSH. In our today's lecture, we will discuss about iOS navigation and iOS modes, configuration and sub-configuration modes of Cisco iOS, iOS command structure, iOS command syntax check and Cisco packet tracer check, iOS help features and hotkeys and shortkeys. Our this lecture will be divided into two parts. In first portion, we will discuss about navigation and modes of Cisco iOS, and in the second part of our this lecture, we will discuss about Cisco iOS command structure and command help features. So let's get started. In this section, we will discuss about the fundamentals of some of the modes of Cisco iOS or Cisco devices. We have two primary command modes, the user exec mode and privileged exec modes. In the previous section, you learned that every network device requires an operating system and that these devices can be configured using the CLI or GUI interfaces. Using the CLI may provide a network administrator with more precise control and flexibility than using the GUI or graphical user interface. This section discusses about using the CLI to navigate the Cisco iOS. As a security feature, our Cisco iOS software separates management access into the two following modes, user exec mode and privileged exec mode. The user exec mode. This is the first mode of your router or a switch. This mode has limited capabilities, but it is useful for basic operations. It shows only a limited number of basic monitoring commands and does not allow the execution of any commands that might change the configuration of the device. User exec mode is identified by the CLI prompt that ends with the greater sign symbol. It is a limited mode. Privileged exec mode. This is the second mode of our device or Cisco iOS, and it is a strong mode used to execute configuration commands. A network administrator must access privileged exec mode. Most commonly, we use this mode for troubleshooting as all show commands can be run in this mode. Moreover, higher configuration modes such as global configuration mode can also be reached only from privileged exec mode. Privileged exec mode can be identified by the prompt ending with the hash symbol. Configuration and sub-configuration modes. To configure a device, a user must enter global configuration mode, which is commonly called global config mode. It is an administrative mode. From global configuration mode, a user can make CLI configuration changes that affect the operations of the device as a whole. Global configuration mode is identified by a prompt that ends with parentheses config hash sign after the device name, such as switch parentheses config hash sign. Global configuration mode is accessed before other specific configuration modes. For global config mode, the user can enter different sub-configuration modes like line mode, router mode, interface mode, etc. Each of these modes allows the configuration of a particular part or function of the iOS device. Two common sub-configuration modes are: number one, line configuration mode, used to configure security or password on console or aux ports, and also used for telnet and SSH configuration. Number two is interface configuration mode, used to configure a switch port or a router network interface for assigning an IP address, and also used for enable or disable an interface. When the CLI is used, the mode is identified by the command dash line prompt that is unique to that mode. By default, every prompt begins with the device name. Following the name, the remainder of the prompt indicates the mode. For example, the default prompt for line configuration mode is switch config-line #, and default prompt for interface configuration mode is switch parenthesis config-if #. Navigation between iOS modes. Various commands are used to move in and out of command prompts. To move from user exit mode to privilege exit mode, we use the command enable as shown in the figure, and from privilege exit mode to come back once again in user mode, you can use the command disable. Here is one exemption for you. Sometimes people know that exit command is used anywhere and they use exit command in the privileged exit mode for come back in user mode. But remember that it's a wrong answer. Sometimes you will see that when you will apply exit command in privileged exit mode, you will bypass your user mode and directly you will go out of the router. And if there is a password on your console port, definitely once again you have to apply the password, and then you will be able to enter into the user mode once again. So remember that it is also a question in our exam of CCNA. What is the command to come out of privileged exit mode to user mode? So the answer is your disabled command. So remember that if you want to go from user mode to privileged exit mode, our command is enable, and if you want to come back from privilege to user mode, your command is disabled, not exit. To move in and out of global configuration mode, use the configure terminal command, or config terminal shortcut can also be used. To return to the privilege exit mode, you can enter the command exit in the global configuration mode, and thus you will come back to your privileged mode once again. There are many different sub configuration modes as shown in the example. To enter line configuration mode, you can use the line command followed by the management line type and number you wish to access. Use the exit command to exit a sub configuration mode and return to global configuration mode. In the same way, to move from any sub configuration mode of the global configuration mode to the mode one step above it is the hierarchy of modes. Means, for example, if you want to come back step by step from higher mode to previous mode, you can use the command exit, exit and exit again and again. But if you directly want to come back from any sub configuration mode or global mode to directly in privileged exit mode, you have two options. Once you can use a command end, or other option is you can use a control plus Z short key combination. In this way, you have no need to come back step by step using exit command. Directly you will come back from any mode to privileged exit mode. When you are learning how to modify device configurations, you might want to start in a safe, non-production environment before using real equipment. NetAcad provides a variety of simulation tools to help build your configuration and troubleshooting skills. These simulation tools typically do not have all the functionalities of real equipment. One such tool is syntax checker. With syntax checker, you are given a set of instructions to enter a specific set of commands. You cannot progress in syntax checker unless the exact and full command is entered as specified. More advanced simulation tools are such as packet tracer let you enter abbreviated commands much as you will do on real equipment. In the first section of this lecture, we discuss about the navigation commands by using which command we can navigate between different modes of our router or switch or Cisco IOS. Now we are going to discuss about command structure. Cisco IOS, like other operating systems, uses commands that have a specific structure. To configure an iOS device, a network technician needs to understand this structure. This section introduces the iOS command structure. This section covers the basic structure of commands for Cisco IOS. A network administrator must know the basic iOS command structure to be able to use the CLI interface for device configuration. A Cisco iOS device supports many commands. Each iOS command has a specific format or syntax and can be executed only in the appropriate mode. The general syntax for a command, as shown in the figure, is the command followed by any appropriate keyword or argument. Keyword is a specific parameter defined in the operating system. As shown in the example, IP protocol is a keyword, while the argument is not predefined. It is a value or variable defined by the user. As shown in the example 192.168.10.5, which is an IP address of IPv4 family, is an argument. After entering each complete command, including any keywords and arguments, you can press enter to execute or submit your command. If you do not find any error message, it means that your command has been executed properly. But if you find any error message, it means that there is some problem in your command. Maybe there is a keyword or variable problem, or maybe there is some spelling mistake. But if you want to check before submitting your command or before entering your command, either your command is good or no, you can use question mark. In this way, you can check your command before entering either your command is right or wrong. iOS command syntax check. A command might require one or more arguments. To determine the keywords and arguments required for a command, refer to the command syntax. The syntax provides the pattern or the format that must be used when entering a command. As identified in the table, boldface text indicates commands and keywords that are entered as shown, and italic text indicates an argument for which the user provides value. For instance, the syntax for the description command is description string. The argument is a string value provided by the user. Description command is typically used to identify the purpose of an interface. For example, the command description connects to the main head office switch, describes the location of the other device at the end of this connection or this interface. The following example demonstrate conventions used to document and use iOS commands. For example, if you use the command ping 10.10.10.5, in this command, ping is the command and the user defined argument is the IP address of the destination device. In the same way, for example, if you use a command traceroute 192.168.254.254, in this case, traceroute is our command and the user defined argument is the IP address of the destination device. If a command is complex and has multiple arguments, you might see it represented like this as shown in the figure. The command is typically followed by a detailed description of the command and each argument. The Cisco iOS command reference is the ultimate source of information for a particular iOS command. iOS help features. iOS has two forms of helps available: context sensitive help and command syntax check. Content Context sensitive help enables you to quickly find answers to the questions such as these: which commands are available in each command mode, which commands start with specific character or group of characters, which arguments and keywords are available for particular command. To access context sensitive help, simply enter a question mark at the CLI. Command syntax check verifies that the user has entered a valid command. When a command is entered, the command line interpreter evaluates the command from left to right. If the interpreter understands the command, the requested action is executed and the CLI returns to the appropriate prompt. However, if the interpreter cannot understand the command being entered, it provides feedback describing what is wrong with the command. Sometimes when you will enter a wrong command, your system will be stuck, for especially when you are working on packet tracer. In this case, you have two options. Number one, if you wait for some time, that problem will be resolved automatically. But if you immediately want to reuse your system or run the packet tracer, you can use a shortcut controls plus shift plus 6. Hotkeys and shortcuts. The iOS CLI provides hotkeys and shortcuts that make configuration, monitoring, and troubleshooting easier. Commands and keywords can be shortened to the minimum number of characters that identifies a unique selection. For example, the configure command can be shortened to conf, C-O-N-F, because configure is the only command that begins with conf. But if you like to use an even shorter version of configure con, it would not work because more than one command begins with con. Keywords can also be shortened. The table below lists some important keystrokes that enhances your command line editing. For example, if you want to complete an abbreviated command, means you do not like to write full command, or even if you are not remembering the complete spellings of that command, you can just type some starting words and you can use tab key to complete this command, or you can use backspace to erase the character left to the cursor, or you can also use arrow keys to navigate between previously used commands. And in this way, you have no need to write the command once again. When a command's output produces more text than can be displayed in a terminal window, iOS displays a dash dash more dash dash prompt. You can use enter key to show next line, or you can use spacebar to show next screen. The table below describes the keystrokes that can be used when this prompt dash dash more dash is displayed. Another table in this example lists keystrokes used to exit an operations. When you have finished configuration in any mode and you want to return to the privileged exit mode directly, you can use Ctrl C or Ctrl Z shortcut. And if you have stuck any time or you want to interrupt any running process, you can use Ctrl plus Shift plus 6 key, which is very important.
That's enough for today, and stay connected for all upcoming videos. Thank you very much.